What up?
We be live.
Hey everybody!
We have a surprise guest today.
Oh shit.
It's Cecil Laird.
Yeah, surprise guest. Surprise, surprise, surprise. I figured it out.
Yes, we did.
So if you guys were watching our, I'm going to record this too. Tetra, thank you very much.
Table cat. Table cat.
Table cat.
All right, here we go.
Run
Hey
it.
everyone, welcome to the Horror Show podcast / live stream. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Brittany Lee.
I'm Amanda Stone.
I'm Jaime Fuego.
That's right, you guys. We are welcoming Amanda from Channel Sundown. We are crossover central at this motherfucker. We've had the Death Twitch. We've had Amanda from Channel Sundown.
Gory B from
Gory
Horror
B
Addicts.
from Horror Addicts.
Yeah.
We need to get on Brian Gatto from Horror Show Entertainment. For
Shout
an
out to
episode.
him, man.
Definitely
He's such a
Dino
great
and
care
Ted if
package.
possible.
Yes.
Man, I love this. I really love this. Like, there's actually a really solid community, both on Facebook and on YouTube, of small horror creators, and I love how much we all just raise each other up.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Rather than tearing each other down.
we were
you know?
talking about
Exactly.
forming the horror mafia during that one Google Hangout, remember?
Yeah,
Kinda doing it, man.
All right, so here's what
It's
we're
all
gonna
happening.
do.
It's all happening.
Guys, this stream, so just so you know, normally when we have people on our channel for the first time, we do their horror histories. And we did that. You guys haven't seen it yet. We recorded it as a video podcast. It will be presented a couple of weeks down the line, where we did talk to Amanda about her horror history. But this is her first official appearance on the channel. And so I think a good place to start, before we get into the topic, which is, we're going to talk about not only possible musicals that would be great horror movies,
Yeah.
but also horror movies that might make for fun musicals.
Exactly.
And if you guys are fans of Channel Sundown, you'll know that this is a perfect fit.
Exactly.
But I think first and foremost, while I post this episode out and about, Fuego, why don't you tell us how this came to be?
yes.
How this came to be.
How this little crossover came to be.
Oh, wow. I think Amanda friend requested me after trying to friend request you.
And I was denied.
Stairway, denied.
Denied.
No, and
I didn't know who it was. I didn't know it was Channel Sundown's
To be
Amanda.
fair, my Facebook had a picture of me when I was blonde, I think, at the time.
I don't even
Yeah.
remember
Yeah, that
who
would
was
have thrown me
that.
off too.
I
Yeah.
saw
I'll
somebody.
take that excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
saw
was
somebody-
why.
Yeah. Well, no,
I think it was somebody-
wasn't because I was blonde. I was dressed up as Hunter S.
That's what it
Thompson.
was. I was like, this
I
girl looks
dressed up as-
kooky and crazy. She's probably cool, and so
Yeah.
of course confirmed.
Well,
and stuff.
because I don't do sexy cosplays. I do ridiculous cosplays.
Yeah, you have
Those are fun
You have a
too.
hell of a sense of humor. I'll give you
Yeah.
that.
too.
I wear as much clothing as possible when I do my cosplay. So,
Guys at the cons must hate you.
they do. Everybody thought I was Johnny Depp. I just told everybody I was a Pokemon.
No, I thought you said you were like Bill Murray or something.
No, I was Hunter S. Thompson. I didn't do Johnny Depp as Hunter S. Thompson. I actually dressed up as Hunter S. Thompson
I know.
because I had the green visor and
Mhm.
stuff. I didn't do the Johnny Depp version.
Oh.
But everybody was like, "Hey, you're Johnny Depp." I was like, "No, I'm a fucking Pokemon. Fly swatter. I want to kiss them all."
Yeah, but so you know that what the hell was it that you said something about a film and I commented on it and like
I
that
remember
sparked
what it is.
discussion.
I made a comment and I said,
That was
every
just like,
time
yeah,
I
confirm
see
friend,
Ben
whatever.
Affleck, every time I say Ben Affleck, I want to say "fuck you, Reindeer Games."
And I think I chimed in and I was
And
like,
he
hey,
doesn't-
Reindeer Games isn't that bad.
No, you said,
You said something
"What about fuck you, Geely?" And I said, "No, I'm talking about role models." And you're like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Matt Damon." And then you were like,
it's not
"Oh,
in
what?"
role models.
And then I sent you a picture of my love gun, and you're like, "Oh yeah."
You
I
pulled the
have-
trigger on my.
No, when I say a picture of my love gun, I don't mean like I took a picture of my love gun because I'm female,
Yes.
so I don't have one. But
I was like, wow, revelation already.
I know, right? We're going
Channel
all
Sundown's love gun.
I actually
She has
have
a
the
penis,
love
yeah.
gun. I have the love gun LP.
She
That's
has
like
a
records. And by
Let's just bypass the joke. She has a penis.
by podcast, I'm a penis.
Yeah. Well, no, because on role models, he's talking about the love gun's his dick, and the black kids like, let's make this music.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
I love that movie. David Wayne is the shit. I know that's not horror, but
Yeah, but anyways, I have
Damon
him.
Wayans is the shit.
He is. He
Oh,
is.
is that not?
David Wayne.
Oh,
The name's
sorry.
correct.
No,
He's
David
from
Wayne,
Wayne
yeah.
Days, and he's part of the.
I was making a fucking joke. It's
Stella
so
True.
So.
Yeah.
No, but I sent him a picture of. I have the original record of Love Gun, and I actually have the paper Love Gun that you
Really?
usually have out, and I have it framed, and I sent him my Love Gun.
Nice.
my love gun.
She
And then,
sent me her love.
and then we were talking one day, and I was like, I would love for us to hang out one day on a podcast and drink a Bailey's out of the boot. And he's like, you watch the Mighty Boosh? And then we
The Mighty Boosh. Yeah, and we've just been talking ever since. I was like, you should come out to Arizona and be on the channel. Let's cross the streams. And so, yeah.
So we've been friends since then.
Nice.
And it was an excuse
And then, of
because
course,
I had
I know
my
you
concert
guys.
tonight. So,
Yeah, and then I met y'all, my birthday, because you know you guys are still in my pocket no matter what.
Oh,
wow,
Yeah,
that's a little
no matter what.
creepy.
All right, just
That's
posted
not
on.
creepy. I feed them. I don't make it weird.
Just posted on Horror Town.
Like, I don't
Hey,
make it
Maddie's
weird.
on.
Maddie's on. Hey, what up, Maddie?
We were just talking about
We
you.
were.
All
Of
good
course,
things.
buddy.
Though. All good things.
And it's so funny,
I like
Matt.
the June cleavage thing, brother. That was awesome.
And it's funny, Matt, because even though you like totally ratted out the surprise,
I didn't hear it.
he didn't
I
hear
didn't hear
it. So
No, I watched it. I didn't actually get to watch the whole thing. I just
Yeah.
kind of tuned in, so I didn't see that part.
no, but the Saturday podcast when we had takeover, he's like, "What happened to Amanda? Is she okay?" And then I showed up today, and he was like, "Oh, I was worried."
That's because the plan the entire time was actually what is transpiring later tonight. The exchange with the Mexican cartel for the white girl from Texas. I'm getting about $5,000. I think it's a fair price.
Fuego jokes, but I got
No,
a
no, but it's
360
funny.
camera recently because we intend to kill her and film it for the channel.
Yes.
No, it's funny you said that
How
because
do
my
you
dad, my dad is from California. My dad is actually like Asian. My dad is from California.
Okay.
He's an Asian man.
Okay.
And he told me before I got on the plane, he goes, Amanda, just be careful because they love white women in Mexico.
Yeah, they do.
I was like, Dad, I'll be okay. And he was
We're a
like,
good 5 hours from now.
yeah. Well, my dad, like on the plane, he was like, send me a selfie. So every hour, my dad is asking me to send a selfie every hour.
Let
of
me
the
Take a
take
day.
picture right now.
Let me
Send
take
me
a
a
selfie.
selfie right
Let
now.
me take a selfie.
Let me
Can I?
take a
Oh, oh my
selfie.
God! Can I hold a knife up to your throat?
Oh, my dad. My dad would probably be like, man, are you in trouble?
You think I'm
Yes.
joking, but I think it'd be hilarious.
Amanda Stone, how does it
No,
feel?
I would take a selfie beside. No, not to send to my
I
dad.
mean, I don't. It's not like I don't have one accessible. I mean, I've got a
My dad's
lovely
gonna watch
Victorian
this.
knife
You weren't
right
supposed
now.
to show that until later.
No,
Amanda
shit,
Stone,
that's
how
right.
does
This
it-
is not a ritualistic knife, I promise.
You were ruining the entire plan.
How does it,
Shit.
Amanda Stone, now that we've let the cat out of the bag, how does it feel to be the first live human sacrifice on the horror show?
Hold on, I would take a selfie
First
just
of
to my
many.
dad.
Satan,
Y'all-
All right, here we go. Gotta
You
squeeze.
gotta send it to my dad. Hold on, hold on.
This is like the Oscars
Hold
one.
on.
Oh, it's gone. It's
No,
gone.
hold on,
This
got
is
this.
great. This is
Ah.
great
I
freaking
know.
content
Yeah.
for the people watching us take a
Ah.
selfie.
Yes.
Ah! This
Selfie.
isn't gonna work.
Ah, oh my God, it is. All right, there you go.
Did I rip your head off? Like,
A little bit. I was like, who's grabbing my neck over
All
here?
right,
Oh,
so
no,
I
I'm trying to
tested
get
it
the
out.
photo.
I thought it
Like,
was
you're not
Cecil's
there
John
yet.
Norman's arms. And
I'm
he's
like,
like,
no, y'all just give me a second. I'm gonna send it to my dad right
All
now.
right, go
okay.
ahead.
Well, we're live on air, guys.
Yeah,
So
I'm
let's
gonna
get
check some
shout-outs.
shout outs.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
let's get some
Fuego.
shout-outs, y'all. All right, so
we got-
obviously Mark Pearson across the pond, dude. We love you, man. What up, what up? Sam Power. Got Jay Crawford on. Ray Animated, we love when you can actually make these, girl. What up, what up? We got Scuba Steve. Schoolma Steve. Love that guy. Who else we got? That's a name that I don't recognize. It's Noah.
Oh, Noah's been on before, yeah.
Awesome. Hell
Noah, okay, I'm gonna give it a try.
Edward D is here.
Oh.
Drestajivic.
Hey,
Drestajivic.
Yep.
Drestajivic. Shit, that's hard.
And we've got Old Fart
Set
in,
it out,
in
set it out.
Bangor.
Set it out.
Yeah, my
One
fellow
at a time.
Stevie K duder.
Sam Powers, Cecil, my mom bought me it today. Dude,
Hells
yes.
yeah.
Dude, the movie holds up, man.
Hi, Sam.
Third time through. Did you watch our features review? Man, that's good shit.
We got
those
some
things
awesome
are so
hatred
good.
from Zachary Haith. I love it. I just stop by and say
Oh, wait, I gotta read
musical
this. Sorry.
Just
I
drink
never
it.
see this comment, so I'm gonna read this from Edward D.
sucks.
Cecil was correct. I don't even know what
Yes.
he's referring to,
That's
but I'm not gonna read it.
Obviously, Cecil's always correct.
All right. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
You
so
remembered. All right.
Jay Crawford says, ask Amanda about Goat Sucker. Whoa.
No, that's the movie I was in.
You were in Goat Sucker?
Yeah, that's the film.
It's
Saying.
on
I swear to God,
It's on
I'm gonna pull
Amazon
up my
right now.
Twitter right now. That
Steve Hudgens, director.
it's
That's my
literally
movie.
I have something like it's been in my stream for 3 days because I never
Yeah.
go through this.
That's the movie I was in.
How random is that shit? My
Oh, it's
Twitter is
Serbian. Hell
frozen
yeah, Noah.
on a
That's
picture
awesome.
from Goat Sucker for the last 3 days
And
because I
I've
don't
yet
scroll
to see
through.
the film. Because I'm scared.
Wow.
Because I was
Did
19
you get
years
killed?
old.
So is it yes?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Did you
Yes,
show any
Yes,
skin?
Kristopher.
Oh, no.
There's
no
a lot
skin.
of skin, but I wasn't in it.
No Mr. Skin.
No, but I do
Okay.
have a famous line.
Yes,
Yestrati.
Yavich.
Yes,
Yavich.
No,
Yes,
That's badass.
I like that.
Oh yeah. It's a lot
No,
more
it's
interesting than
just-
Callahan, for God's sake. I mean, come on.
It's
now.
just a free havish. Yes, a free havish.
Wow.
Now, we're trying, Noah.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning
Yeah.
in.
Yes, a free havish.
I like it. Yes, he said, yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
that pronunciation didn't help, says Manny I like it. I like it.
I love never see.
I would say,
Shut up,
to
I
me,
like it.
To me, it says
Go man.
Yestratievich. Yestratievich.
No, it's Yestrati havish.
Really? You actually literally know how to do it?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. All
There
right.
you
Well,
go.
I'm going to defer to her.
Is she correct?
My
How
just
close am I?
purely American reading the accent would say Yestratievich.
Cecil got no one said Cecil got it. Oh,
Boom.
Cecil got it. Oh.
Yestratievich.
Yes, Strachiyevich.
Well, I said Yestrati havish.
I like it. I like it. That was fun.
I feel like staying
Hey,
in South Park where he's like,
podcast.
I learned
just,
something
like,
today.
pronounce
Yeah,
shit.
just for
Like,
pronunciation.
so-
Right. I like it.
Well, y'all should hear me
We're so
pronounce
sorry
Mexican
to butcher
words.
your name so terrible.
And Lydia Young is here too, of course. We
Yeah,
have to
I can
shout her
understand
out.
Hello, Lydia.
So Lydia did ask a question, but I think we got to stick to our topic at hand. Let's launch into it, guys.
Yes, let's do it.
Lydia, I appreciate the question, but we have a focused topic this time, which is
Trying to be.
it's musicals and horror. So we approach this as you could approach it one of two ways. You could say, what musicals out there would make for good horror movies, or what horror movies would make for good musicals, and what would that look like, right?
Okay.
So not only, because of course I could say Freddy would make a good musical, Chucky
Well,
would
that was
make
your
a good
answer last
musical.
time when I asked.
Exactly, and I
Yeah.
still believe that, and my
Yeah.
still go-to answer would be Freddy.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about this podcast, because again, Amanda reminded me, again, guys, I've made over 1,700 episodes of this show, so I do not remember everything that I've talked about. And I'm like, what if we did this topic? I was all proud of myself. I was like hitching up my britches, all proud. But
You got them stinky.
she's like, actually, I've asked you about this a couple times on the channel, and you've addressed it like 2 different times. I was like, well, fuck.
But you didn't elaborate though.
Right,
Guys,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
So now is our chance to deep dive and talk
Exactly,
about that. And if
exactly.
someone presents a good idea that perhaps others of us haven't thought about, we can take a moment to be like, okay,
Present
let's
them.
explore this.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
all of us
yeah.
explore this.
That's where we want
Let's-
you
But
to
that's why it's
Let's
fun
talk.
too, because Brittany can join in too, even though she hasn't watched as many horror movies. She can help us develop a scary version of shit.
But and the only reason with that topic is a lot of people get confused with that topic. They kind of think about horror films or like, well, you can't adapt that into a musical. It doesn't matter the horror genre. It doesn't matter the horror genre. It doesn't matter what the movie is. You can adapt everything in musical.
Anything can be
If
adapted.
they could do
If they do
Army
an
of Darkness,
An Evil Dead musical. I was
if
just about to
they
use that
could
example.
do Evil Dead and American Psycho, they can do anything. So they can do anything. So it doesn't matter if it makes sense. If it's your favorite horror
Anything you
film.
want,
I just-
$100 bill.
See, like I'm like anything you can do, I can do better. But
That was the
Oh,
one- that was the one I
got
got.
Because anything was in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 with Rick when he was doing his training before he
Honestly, four
Yeah.
Freddy, yeah.
Four is one of my
Montage,
absolute
absolutely.
motherfucking montage.
Damn it! You gotta come out here more often. 'cause
Even Nightmare
we-
Four
I
had a
already know we
montage.
don't get enough time with Channel Sundown.
Montage.
But all right, so let's
Who's
just
gonna get the ball
launch
rolling?
into
How
it with
about
what we
Amanda?
just talked
How about
about.
Amanda gets the ball rolling?
Yeah,
Let's-
Amanda,
Alright,
go ahead.
alright.
Guess gets the ball. Ladies first.
Gets the
All
ball.
right, so we're gonna do Amanda first, and then
Okay.
Britt. We're gonna
Yes.
go to you. So
Oh, okay.
whether you
Great
again,
idea.
whichever you want to do. I know you've got some music. Okay, so you've already been thinking.
Before
love
I
it.
started, I
love
just
it.
want to like chant that I'm fangirling today. I'm wearing my coexist
Sporting that
shirt.
coexist shirt, y'all.
Yeah.
Guys, you can get your own coexist shirt down in the link in the description
Or
box
you
for the
can get a
merch
horror
store.
shirt like this.
You can get a horror
Yes.
shirt just like this. You can get, you can't get a shirt like this, but I wear my Penny Smile shirt all the time. You can get a shirt like that. Lots of really cool swag at that
I
merch
thought he
store.
said you
I have a
can't
cool
get
shirt,
this.
but it's nothing.
You can't get this.
How
Fuck, I really
about all
should.
of this, huh?
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't get this on the website.
No.
When
No.
you saw that, you can't get this.
Ah.
I was like, I didn't know this was that kind of cast, Cecil.
Well, we do have
Digging
our
chin
annual
brain.
auction.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that
wow.
Our charity auction.
I have to
Last
really.
year, I think I
It's
raised
like
a total
Groundhog's
of
Day.
$4.33.
Have you seen Groundhog's Day when they go to the auction and just Cecil going out going, eh?
I'm gonna tell them.
Sorry. Well, you're cheap.
Cecil going on stage. Cecil going on stage and going, I can work in VCR, ladies.
Girl, work it. Oh,
I'm
work
old.
that thing.
Fuck you. I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
Okay, I actually,
Retro,
so I see a very
retro.
interesting, this is a viewer going in a completely different direction. This is coming from Old Fart. He actually said Metallica Master of Puppets would make a killer horror movie.
Actually, that was actually
Music
going to-
horror. Okay.
Yeah.
well, that was
That's even
actually,
different than what we were-
Metallica had a lot to do with
Why
it.
was Master of Puppets like a complete story, or was it just?
I'm not a big Metallica fan, sorry.
See,
but I know
here's
that
the
there's a
thing.
concept.
I
behind it.
don't think you can consider like any music like a musical that could make a good horror movie. I think if it was Rush's 2112,
Yeah.
where it was a whole story,
Yeah.
yes, that could count.
Yeah, well, I mean, look what they
Or
did with
Green
the
Day,
Wall.
right?
Wall.
Yes.
Green Day's the
American
one,
Idiot.
American
They
They
Idiot.
actually made
That
that into
is a
they made it into
musical.
a musical.
So yes, like that would so yes, I
Yeah.
think albums to an extent could
Yeah.
qualify,
Yeah.
but they have
They have
to
to
be
be a concept
an
record
old-
with like
Well,
a
Right,
and that was
right,
one of my
right.
choices. I guess I'll go ahead and that's a segue to what I was going to say.
Okay.
Is this is actually not a horror film, but
Okay.
it's I don't read a lot of comics, but I do love the Umbrella Academy. So
Oh
like,
my
That's-
god,
that's
it's
good.
so good.
That's
I
Jerome.
love
Dude,
that.
we should
Yeah.
talk about
MCR.
it as a separate. Fuck, we
Yeah.
have so much content. we
yeah.
can
So
fucking
Umbrella Academy, like kind of like Green Day.
This guy hasn't read it. I have both.
I don't
I
think
have both
amazing.
series
It's
of it.
amazing.
I don't think anyone's coming to my concert
my
tonight. They're
two-
just gonna stay here and keep
Well, no, my
filming shit.
two favorite musicals I would love to have it because Green Day did their American Idiot musical. I would love to see Umbrella Academy,
Mm-hmm.
My Chemical Romance, and I'll see Coheed and Cambria.
Woo! If
I
MCR,
love Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah,
If
their
MCR
whole
could somehow-
Yeah.
home, the whole mythos and
Mhm,
everything that they
mhm,
have with that would be a fantastic
Yep.
musical. So
Obviously-
Coheed and Cambria and Mars Volta, I think would make a really good musical.
those guys are high
Mars
concept.
Volta and
They're
Raw.
not together
If y'all
anymore.
ever seen the movie Raw, if you ever heard of Mars Volta, I think Mars Volta and Raw would be like a good combination.
Raw, the cannibal movie with the girl
Yes.
eating meat. Yeah.
Yes.
Eats her sister's.
Well,
finger.
yeah.
Spoilers.
Well, we weren't getting into spoilers. We're talking about musicals.
I know.
Zachary,
But anyways,
Zachary Hayes says Cecil wants an It musical. I could seriously stand an It musical. I
Yeah,
think that would
I'd
be
be
really
down.
cool.
I'd be down.
What
with
I
that
would love would be a big budget. Like I would like a movie treatment of the It musical because I think
Okay.
what I would want to see accomplished, like I would like to see the It movie with songs. Like I would watch that,
Mhm.
but I don't know if I'd be into an It musical on stage because they wouldn't be able to get across the effects I
Well,
want
but
to
that's
see.
the thing about
Yeah,
it
that's
though.
true.
Like when I was telling you, I don't want to cut you off or anything. But like when you
Well,
have
I
a
stopped talking, so.
Well, like when, I don't want to cut your idea because
No, I got
like
you.
think
No,
about like
I'm just
the
fucking
It. I
around.
know you're like, how do we do?
Seriously, don't fuck around. I
She's
got a
snort,
snort.
you got a
I got a
Urkel.
snort, baby.
Urkel
Yeah.
snort, dude.
I haven't even seen
Yeah.
her do that on her own show. Oh, but I
Okay.
need to keep watching. I'm sure it's
Yeah,
there.
it's
Well,
there.
I'm sure it's there.
It's
All right,
there.
go ahead.
But I would like to see It musical because just when people think of musicals, they think of like kind of like, hey, oh, like Music Man, or like Spirit Fingers. Like you can't have like Kenny West in there going like jazz
Jazz
hands.
hands.
Like you can actually have like in-depth musical, kind of like American Psycho.
Ah.
They kind of like in-depth with that.
Jeez,
You
I'm
can
not
sit
even
there.
drinking.
I know.
Jesus.
I'm the one that's drunk, and I'm.
Why aren't you? Oh, because you gotta play.
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
play a concert, so I'm,
So,
I'm sober, y'all.
It would be
At least for now.
fantastic because you can have a musical aspect of it, but you don't have to go through the whole Music Man version of it. You
Right.
can have the music overtone in the story, like kind of like an opera.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah, like kind of an opera in itself, to where it's not like so commercial.
I'm trying to imagine a.
But when I say an
opera.
opera,
operas are
I
like
don't
three
mean like they
movements,
have
you know?
to sing the whole time.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Like, because when opera, when you hit that high note, it could be kind of a scream.
Yeah,
Like you could sit there, you can have the music
like
play.
Chiron could do
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah. But they kill
I'm just gonna be the
I
butt of
like
all
killing
the
it.
jokes today. Yeah, Pennywise
No,
style.
no.
Yeah,
But what you
no,
can
no,
do,
I don't
what you
condone
can do
this.
is you can have kind of like
I don't know.
a kind of like a symbolic kind of like paraphrase where, because you can sing and talk
Mhm.
with an opera, so you can talk, and then when he goes to the abyss, you can have like a music play and a kind of scream that fades out.
Mm-hmm.
You can play
You're giving some
it.
thought to this.
Yeah, because it's on top of my head. I just come up with shit on top of my head. But you
It's
can
like, well,
play
this is
it.
just nothing
Yeah.
for me.
This is nothing.
He's like, I don't see anything up there. I see red hair.
Yeah, I have qualities. Anyways, but yeah, But you can play it to a way of making it a musical without having jazz hands. I mean, you don't want.
No, I agree.
I was gonna
That's
say,
true.
Matty
That's true.
Macabre says if Pennywise doesn't do jazz hands, I'm out.
I like that.
Well, I was talking about taking the musical, and you have a bunch of. But I have a crude sense of humor, so I was like a bunch of.
a certain set of skills.
Well, I was just saying a bunch of dead prostitutes in a line and doing like fucking a chorus line.
I'm just thinking
like,
of how he would sing. It's like, Georgie, I have your boat here.
No,
Georgie, come real close.
He goes, we all float,
He's
we all
like-
float, we all
like-
float, we all float,
Yeah.
we don't float. 'Cause
We
we're
all-
Big
not
chorus of
that
dead
float.
kids.
Yeah,
like
all
the curtain opens
all
and they're all
floating
like,
up, and they're just like,
we're floating, we're floating.
I just thought it was really bad. I just thought it sounded really bad. I don't know how dark this is, but you know, we do Bohemian Rhapsody is like all the dead kids like, where's my mommy? Where's my mommy?
We're having too much fun here.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Reeling
So,
it.
I mean, we answered
I
that.
went
Did you
there.
actually get to talk about what was
Yeah,
your...
Umbrella. I said Umbrella
Umbrella
Academy.
Academy, okay, cool,
Umbrella
okay.
Academy,
Yes.
Queen and Cambridge.
See, and I agree with Umbrella Academy because
Yes.
I love those comics.
Yeah.
They're so unique
Yeah.
and...
Well, their whole album.
I
Actually,
just
if
could
you
never
listen
get
to
over
their
his
album.
voice. Since
Well, just like
Sergio's
King
voice
Cameron,
is sucking on
listen to
helium.
listen
There
to
was an album around Umbrella Academy?
No, but
Oh.
listen to all their like. I'm talking about the original up to like I'm Not Okay, up to fucking Black Parade.
Yeah, and I'll roll with
Listen
that
to
is
the
because of the
album,
fact that every single one of the My Chemical Romance albums, the reason I love those guys so much, and I got shit for loving them,
Sorry.
they were goth, emo, punk, kind of whatever, but each album was a story. The first one,
Really?
I Brought You My Love, You Brought Me Your Bullets, or whatever. Was,
See, I have a bunch downloaded, but I only ever listened to Black Parade because I really like that song.
well,
I
when they
just don't
did
know
the Black
rest.
Parade live, they essentially turned it into a whole stage show, and I was blessed enough to see that live. And
Yeah.
it was fucking incredible. Like, they brought him out in the hospital bed, shaved white hair and everything, and then he'd start singing, and it was so wonderfully done. They could easily turn that into a full-on musical film kind of thing, and I would
Exactly.
love it. Love
Yeah,
it.
it'd be fantastic. But yeah, that's my pick.
Three
Umbrella.
Cheers is
It's
so
not really
good,
a horror
too.
film, but it's kind of like mystical aspect, and I think that would be a really good.
Well, then let's move to Brittany's.
Yeah,
Brittany,
Brittany.
what were you thinking might be good as far as horror musicals?
Thinking what might make a good musical horror type thing would be if you adapted Frighteners into a.
Yes.
This is on the mind after the
Sci-fi.
mention, huh?
Yes, yes.
Nice.
We were talking about Frighteners.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
great.
That's-
Yeah, because
that's why
because
my
each
head
ghost
was
could
already
have their
talking
own
about it.
song,
Yeah.
like about sort of how they joined up with
Well,
what's his
if you
name.
remember,
Mhm.
now that we're talking about this movie, because me and Bree can talk about this movie, but one of the ghosts, you can see a whole Buddy Holly influence. In it.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Mhm.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like at one point, each ghost would like. Honestly, it might be a really cool number if it's like 3 ghosts that follow him around,
Yes.
right? So it would
No,
be,
it's 2. It's
Two?
the
Well, it's an older brother, and then
Yeah, the
there's
older
one-
brother. I
Yeah,
remember.
the older
Yeah.
brother, and then it was like the nerd, and then you had the spoiler alert, I don't know, it's an old film, but then you had the demon.
The bad guy, yeah.
If you haven't
Okay,
seen
well then,
Peter
well, then
Jackson's
well, no,
The
that'd be
Frighteners,
pretty cool
I mean.
then, because so you have his name was Frank in the movie, right? I think.
Frank
His
the Tank.
character?
Frank the Tank.
No, his
No,
character I
it's-
think was
I
Frank.
know it's
but
not Frank,
yeah.
but anyway,
That was Frank. Oh, no, it was Frank. It was Frank.
I think it was Frank. But nonetheless, those 2 ghosts could like be telling their story in song like back and forth,
Mhm.
like how they joined up with Frank, and like
Mm.
you know like there would be a little bit of backstory you
Yeah.
could explore there. Like here's the nice thing: if you did it as a musical, musicals tend to be 2.5 hours
Yeah.
with intermission and stuff. The Frighteners is an hour and a half long movie.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to pad it out a little bit, but you can give the backstory to the characters that are fun. They've been given the comedy beats to shine. They both end up getting killed by the Reaper, if
Yes,
I'm not
I think-
mistaken.
yes,
Yeah,
they
they
do.
do.
Spoilers.
So
And they
like
shove
they
them
have
in.
but they have their scenes of heroism
And there's so
stuff
many
like
styles
that.
that. You can go with because you can go with the disco blues you can go the disco aspect.
They
with
each
the
have
throwback
different,
act-
they would
exactly.
each
Yeah,
obviously, and
exactly.
but it would be like how
Like
fun
the
would that be
era,
for the
yeah.
composer
Exactly.
to try and come up with like a
Exactly.
medley of those 2 different
exactly.
types of
Yes.
things, you know?
That'd be awesome.
And then
And then
especially
like-
if you had like a version, like an instrument representing Frank,
Yeah.
sort of watching them do it, where you have him being like, yeah, and this is where he came in.
And that would be fantastic if only his story was instrumental because he is the one that's the kind of the eyes of the whole thing. So him being like just instrumental and they just have everything around him being kind of like different genres.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then looking onto that and then
Well,
the
and I
ending.
think the bad guy would have to be like a 60s
Oh.
Stones
I
kind of
think-
thing, right? Kind of vibe.
Well,
It's like-
could be
honestly,
dope.
I know
Killing
this
stuff
sounds
and
weird.
stuff
I
like
know
that.
this sounds weird, but I think it wouldn't be so much a gothic thing. I think his would be more symbolic if it wasn't something as dark.
Well, no, that's
You
what I'm saying. It would
understand.
be more. It would be like it's like him and the girl are like upbeat. I think Stone's music rides that line, you know, because
No, I'm not thinking some of Stones. I'm thinking more of like maybe like Frank Zappa or something like that.
Okay.
Because
That's a little
in
more
their
off the
mind,
wall, though.
well, I know it's off the wall, but you have to look at this point. They don't know what they're doing is dark. They're in love. They're just crazy.
Right.
So, in their aspect of not doing dark, they're
Right,
doing
that's
what's
true.
fun. So, if you take something kind of like, you know, when you see these horror films, they have something, I'm not,
Like that song from Insidious, that flower song.
yeah, Tiny
Tiptoe
Tina.
through the tulips, yeah.
Yeah,
the
because what
tulips.
they're doing is not, so you don't have to go something more dark. For as Frank, you would have to do something dark because he sees the darkness in within people. But the two, because the spoiler, you don't know the girl's evil until the end of the movie.
Right.
So you play her
Innocent.
tune in a high, a high innocent song,
Yeah.
and then come the ending when you replay that innocent song, it has a whole other tone to it. You get
I
what
like
I'm saying?
that. Sorry,
There's
so
some funny
Reanimator
comments
and Maddie
going on.
Macabre are going back and forth about a Hellraiser musical, and Maddie Macabre just said, "I don't know, Reanimator. Maybe an interpretive dance with chattering because of Chatterer. Like, if that's what they're talking about, that's put
totally
a
what
really funny picture in my
That's
head.
what they're
I
doing.
fucking
yeah.
love that. That's a hilarious picture, Maddie.
I also got to give a shout out to Reanimator for her suggestion of Cemetery Man as a musical because
I
I
love
love
Cemetery Man.
that movie
I love
and it's so
Cemetery Man.
tough to find on DVD.
Actually,
It's super
Cemetery
out of print.
Man is on my other countdown.
I want to shout out Hazy Days, actually. Cool show, just started watching recently. Welcome, Hazy Days. Welcome.
Yeah.
Make sure you go over to Channel Sundown and subscribe to her channel as well.
Yes,
That's
all of you guys. That's
where
an
her and
honor.
Maddie that
I
are
don't think
actually
they're gonna let
on
me
it.
go home.
No,
Well,
she
we
I
don't
don't
has
think
a
I'm
lot
going
to say.
home.
We
You're
don't
not going
often
home.
get like guests that have so much to say about horror that can contribute so much.
I love
so.
my
I told you
Bertina.
she was cute.
I love my Bertina.
Number 10.
My Bertina.
All right, so moving right along, Fuego, would you like to go next?
Yeah, I
Go
have a
ahead.
very different idea actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm envisioning like taking grease and like mushing it together with Sometimes They Come Back.
Well, that'd be cool.
That's pretty
That could be bitchin' in my opinion. Like make the
Yeah.
John Travolta character like some sort of vengeful whatever that has like this dark obsession and maybe she's like kind of into it, but he's got this edge and she's not so sure and I mean totally original songs and stuff like that. Or you could just grease it up and make Grease into a fucking horror movie like that. I mean a horror musical. Yeah, that's my suggestion. Who has thoughts?
Well,
No, I
I
like it.
have a thought about that because actually,
Uh-huh.
if y'all know about the Grease fan theory that they have with Grease, so it's really funny you said that. There's a fan theory of the fact that John Travolta and Sandy were actually dead. That Sandy died
Ah,
in the water, and that the whole Grease movie is her coma dream, and hence the end of the film they ride off in the sunset because that's her idea. So that in a point would make a lot of sense because her coma dream could be something awful.
I had no idea about any of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, it's a real big
That's
fan theory
fascinating.
that's been going around for a while, for
Mhm.
years now. That the fact that like when he goes and saves her, she actually dies.
Hmm.
And after, because you notice like when she goes out in the water, it's kind of realistic, and after she gets saved, it's kind of like this set up, and this is like this musical kind of like atmosphere. But they say that that is a coma dream of
Hmm.
hers.
Tell
That
me
has
more.
been a
Tell me
thing
more.
going
Did she put up a fight? I mean, he's
Oh,
like
I've heard
some-
that theory, and then
Yeah.
riding off at the end is them going up to heaven
Yeah.
together.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. No, I like that. Now my first one literally just popped into my mind while Fuego was talking his last one because I wanted to think outside the box, kind of.
That's what I was trying to do. Yeah.
So here's where I'm going with it,
All right.
and this is going to open doors for you, okay?
Alright.
Because I know what she likes, but here's where I want to go with it, and this is going to take. This movie is a musical, and it's now an enormously popular musical on Broadway, has been for a very long time. So in order to make it a horror version, you'd have to flip the script a little bit. So bear with me as I go through this.
I've always liked that phrase.
I think The Lion King would make an outstanding horror film if instead of the outcast being the good guy, I think the lion that's thrown out would be like the scar of it all. Like, what if it was like an evil lion trying to plot to take over? So like the I just can't wait to be king would be like an I just can't wait to overthrow kind of thing. And then
He's all
the
sinister
star
with his
song
singing.
would actually be the one song from the hero side where he's like, you know, I'm going to protect this kingdom forever because we're actually following the villain along the way. And and it's the lions trying to protect the pride. This is a bit of a thinker, but I think it would work really well if it was a dark version of the Lion King where you're following the villain coming up and trying to usurp the throne and take over the land.
That's actually a really fantastic idea, and I don't mean to interject because I have a lot to say
Please
about
do,
this
please.
Because Lion King is actually an animated version of Hamlet.
Oh, really? Okay. I
Yeah,
didn't
with
even
the whole
realize.
the struggle in that.
So it's really interesting that you say that because what you're talking about is more of a literal stance on Hamlet.
Okay, that's fair.
So
Yeah.
that would be amazing if they actually took more in the story of Hamlet. And of course, Hamlet's not a horror film,
Mhm.
but they can kind of like, I guess, was it
There's some
exaggerate?
horrific aspects in there, though.
So that's amazing that you said that because you probably didn't know that
No,
that it was based on Hamlet.
No.
But the fact that you can take the story of Hamlet itself and make it into something so extravagant and just something crazy, so that's really a good choice, and I never thought about that. So
Thank you. Yeah, well, I mean, all Disney films
Yeah.
are musicals. So
yeah,
I'm
but
like,
no,
that's-
but the
what-
fact that
which of
it's
those
based
would
on
you
something,
know?
it's based on
20,000
something
Leagues
real, like
wasn't it?
Hamlet and Shakespeare,
Yeah.
and then you just take that aspect and just make it bigger. So that's a really good choice. So what you were saying was kind of like me thinking, I was like, oh, that's Hamlet. So
That's
what
cool.
he's saying is like kind of like basically the form of in Hamlet.
That's
so,
cool. No,
yeah.
I like it. All right,
Well,
cool. Well, I'm
so-
glad that worked out.
And they've done the Lion King in so many fashions at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a stage musical, obviously.
Well,
and,
that's what he was getting at.
It's gonna
is
be a
really
live
good.
live action whatever thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would want to throw some Ghost in the Darkness flair in there. Have them like chewing on some people here and there. I think that'd be dope too.
That's cool. I had no idea this happened. Matt Reyes, perfect excuse for a homework break. Just found the horror show on Stitcher. I
know you
forgot
have
that
us
our
on.
podcasts are still uploaded to Stitcher, just
What
like
is
they are.
Stitcher?
Just like
Stitcher
iTunes,
is it's the Android app instead, so they can't get podcasts through iTunes. They have to go through Stitcher.
So it's like
That's
20?
actually what.
No, it's not like twatting. It's just it's an alternative.
Did you just twat me on
It's an
on the
Android
twatter?
version of iTunes.
It's funny you mention that, Cecil, because
Welcome, Matt Reyes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
well,
Brittany's like, Amanda, shut up.
Chris,
I love
Chris
you, I
Payne,
know.
my singer,
Shut up.
Cecil, that's where he listens to the Horror Show podcast is on Stitcher because he has an Android.
Chase Smith says, "Whew, I thought it was
He's
going to be
gonna be-
cats." I did think about talking to cats.
Actually- Oh, I'm sorry. Who just said no?
I love cats. I love
that was
every
Chase
kind
Smith.
cat.
Chase, you're about to get really disappointed in my next.
Oh shit!
No.
All right, well let's dive right in. That's a good
Yeah.
segue. So go ahead. What is your next one?
I was thinking about cats, and but I was thinking more of wolves.
Ooh.
We're werewolves, not swearwolves.
I was thinking more of wolves.
Okay, how would that work?
Okay.
Let me go
Just like
first.
let me hold my beer.
No, that's gonna be my last words before I pass. Cecil. I swear to
Hold my
God.
beer.
I'm like, hey y'all, watch this. Hold my beer. And they're like, as we on my Tuesday.
Hold my beer. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna come back.
Yeah.
You wait.
I'm coming for you. I'm
She thought she could make the jump, but gravity's a bitch. Anyways. But yeah, so I was thinking of like doing a cats musical but doing wolves.
Okay.
And when I say werewolves, I don't mean swearwolves, and I don't mean
Oh, so it would be a werewolf musical?
Yes.
Fuck yes.
It would be
so
like
much more on
cats.
board. I was
Yeah.
just thinking because there's so many horror movies that say werewolves are just wolves.
But
they
no,
can transform
but-
into humans, but
yeah.
that's so boring.
No, but
No.
it'd be the exact story of cats, but put into werewolves. I don't know if you ever seen cats.
I actually I when I was a kid, I took one trip to New York with my parents who were well off at the time. We saw Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
We saw Cats, and we
I
saw
say yes a lot.
Gypsy.
Gypsy.
But we saw Phantom and we saw Cats. And
You see Joseph in the.
no, we didn't see.
Okay.
No, I love
Oh
that
my
show.
God,
I
I
love
know.
Joseph in the music.
Yes.
Dream Coat.
Yes, Queen.
No,
Yes.
I don't know. People
He's
don't
not
know
a
that I
queen.
actually know a little bit
Yeah.
about fucking
But anyways.
musicals, but
But anyways,
Honestly,
no,
if
but
you're
you
gonna
take.
go cats though, I would want to mash cats with like Sleepwalkers, the Stephen
No,
King.
but
'cause I always go to
that's what I was
Stephen
getting
King.
at. Like, you take the story of cats itself and like kind of like interpret it into wolves.
Mhm.
You know, and that would be such a poignant film because, like you say, like you have the opening scene of just being in the alley, thinking about being in a forest, thinking about being misunderstood, and the moonlight, and the song "Alone in the Moonlight." Fucking a werewolf.
oh, nice, that works.
Nice.
With people to kill tonight.
Yes.
I'm trying. Okay,
No,
I'm
because,
trying to
and
think.
no, but I was thinking more of like I wanted to feed, but do I have to kill? Like,
Oh,
you have-
so he's struggling with it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you have because if you watch
Oh.
cats, you have the alley cats who are okay with her, and then you have the ones who are just
Cats come out tonight.
yes, you have the different dynamics. You'll have the werewolves who are okay and like said, this is our life, this is our world, and you have the ones that are just like, I just want to be human again because they're they're new werewolves. Like the new alley cats that were abandoned, so they're new werewolves who transformed.
Well, and what if there was a faction? Like, what if there were, like the alley cats? What if there were the werewolves that had fed on human flesh, so they're considered evil, and then there's the werewolves
That's what
that
I'm
only
saying.
feed
That's what I was
on
getting at. The alley
distinction,
cats. You
yeah.
can change the alley cats to the new
the flesh-eating
alternate,
werewolves,
yes.
okay.
And then you have the newborns, kind of like in
Which haven't done that yet.
Yeah,
they still
exactly.
transform, but they haven't gone
Yeah.
that far
Yeah.
yet.
Exactly.
Once they
So
consume,
other
they
than
kinda
being
cross the
like in
line.
cats,
I like
you had
it.
the alley cats, and you had the cats that were just abandoned. It would be transformed
I like it.
to the werewolves who eat and kill already, and then you have the new transform, and that takes the whole song in Moonlight over again. You're like alone in the moonlight, and then you would have that silhouette on the new werewolves versus the contrast of the other ones. So,
That's
yeah.
good. I
We're
like
diving
that.
deep, and all
I
I
know,
was
but
trying to
I
figure
just
out-
thought about
No,
this.
that's the point.
No, I know. I'm
The
giving
things,
compliments
guys,
here.
the things that come up on the top of my head. Like, we literally just made up this topic, like a few minutes ago, and I'm already like,
Rolling with it. So what was the
pew,
what was the comedy where the person got molested by the whole group of the Cats cast? Does anybody remember that?
What?
No.
It was a joke in some film
Wait,
or a cartoon or something. Yeah, like they got
Uh,
gangbanged by all the cats.
All right, let's move right along.
Anyway,
Brittany,
that's
you're
a
next
conversation.
up.
So if
You
You
anyone
got
knows
something
what
to
I'm
follow
talking
that
about,
up with?
call me old fashioned, but I don't watch a lot of rape.
Yeah, I'm not.
it was presented as funny. Okay, he's like the cast of
I
cats,
still,
and
I
was
don't
never gonna say
generally
that's
Google
why I hate
funny
cats.
rape, so I mean,
You know,
Yeah,
something
I crossed the
that
line.
might be
Yeah.
funny would be turning Death Becomes Her into a musical.
ooh,
Yeah, that's got
that
Brittany,
is
I
actually
have to
fucking
stop. I
brilliant.
have to stop you, Brittany. I don't mean to interrupt,
No.
but Fuego would tell you Death Becomes Her is my #1 favorite horror
love
comedy
that
of all
movie.
time. You pushed me down the stairs. That is my favorite horror comedy of all time.
That
It's
could
Ghostbusters.
get.
Yeah.
Imagine that if it was a horror musical with Evil Dead tendencies,
I can
where
see
the
right through.
like, what if the and, like their injuries would have to get more and more crazy, and then they'd
But
have
that's
to
what
like
it does
they'd have to
with
like sing
movies.
with like their head like just barely on, and like shit
No,
like
and you
that.
know what? And I say this, and I don't want to talk over you, honey, but I would tell you, like, the best thing is you get Bruce Willis to reprise his role
Ugh.
and do
Oh my gosh,
some,
that'd be
do
so
some, do
He's done some
fucking-
stage work.
Well,
He's in
no,
the
that's what
Misery
I'm
on
saying.
stage.
He actually
What?
sings really good.
Yeah.
Take his band and what's that movie? What's that TV show he used to be on? Moonlighting.
Moonlighting, yeah.
Like just
With
get
him, was it him
moonlighting,
and Sybil
get him on
Shepherd?
moonlighting, and he's spray painting
I don't know this.
pictures and singing. Like, yeah, I'm all for that. And
Yeah, I
Meryl
can't
Streep
remember.
can sing. Susan
Yeah.
Sarandon, we all know.
Meryl Streep can kind of sing. Let's be
Well,
fair.
not Gold. I'm not Susan Sarandon. I'm sorry.
Oh
Goldie
shit!
Hawn. I'm sorry. Why
Oh
is it-
shit!
Bring
Throwing
it,
that
bring it,
street
bring it.
shade, y'all! Oh
No,
shit!
Goldie Hawn can sing
Yep.
because she sang in the Bangers. No, wait, she was singing in the Bangers. What's that movie that she sang in? It was the rock and roll thing. Anyways, it had a bunch of dick
Anyways.
pics. It had a bunch of dick pics in it. Anyways, that's another stream.
Well, okay, so Britt, why do you choose
Yes.
Death Becomes Her?
Yes.
Since we've been talking all over you, because
Because-
it was such a
no,
good
because-
idea, we were like,
because-
yeah, this,
yes,
this, and this.
Let
It'd
the
just
woman
be
talk.
so awesome to take the comedic horror aspect and throw a musical aspect into it. I just think it would be great. And you have their deaths are so comedic, and the way that you could play that into the songs and their bitchy attitudes towards each other. It's all around good fun. It's just awesome.
I would like to know your opinion on this then. Okay. So if you could pick.
Excuse me, I asked the questions on this show.
Oh, excuse me.
Go ahead and
sorry.
finish it so I know what to ask.
He is
them.
the
Okay.
showrunner.
So if you had to pick, because of course we can't have Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep anymore.
Right.
If you could pick 2 stars.
Thank you.
We'll
Okay.
say pop
Brittany,
stars.
if you could pick 2 stars,
If you could pick 2 pop stars to be in the musical. We'll say pop stars so a lot of people know who we're talking about. Because we talk about
Oh,
theater
God.
actors, a lot of people get.
as
Yeah,
wait,
pick
no,
2 pop
I think
stars.
you pick the man too.
Oh my gosh,
Okay,
Ryan,
okay.
this is so hard. I'm not very good at casting.
So much pressure coming
No,
back.
I think there's a couple songs we listen to that you
Yeah.
could cast 2 of the lead singers of either of those as the men. The 2 songs we listen to the most.
For like,
To be singers and to play that
Yeah.
part, fucking give it to Bruno Mars.
okay, yeah, no, that's sure.
I think that would be him. I think, come on, he could play that funniness. Come
Well,
on.
I was thinking.
Sorry, I don't want to talk for
I
you, but
don't
think
know.
along
No,
those lines.
I really, I don't know. I'm sorry.
No,
I want to contribute for this because it's an awesome question, but I don't.
Well, just think about it for a bit then.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Well, can I
think
tell you
about
why
it.
I think, and maybe you can see you agree with me?
Sure.
I think
know one's gonna be
Meryl
Lady
Streep,
Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
Oh boy.
No. Okay, guys. Okay, I'm gonna tell you all this real quick. Okay.
Y'all ever wanted
I
to
met
have a...
Lady Gaga.
She
Yeah,
wears
everyone-
meat suits,
Lady
okay?
Gaga. No, guys. Okay.
You're not
Before
gonna get
I
any
met
love
Lady
here.
Gaga, I thought she's a pop artist, and I was like, cool. Until I saw her play her piano and sing acoustically at S4, she is so talented. She did that record with Tony Bennett. She is so.
That was one of the
She's in
few
the
times when I
remake.
was like, okay, she's pretty good.
She's
When I
in the
listened to that
remake of
song,
The
I
Star
was
Is
Yeah.
Born with, and it's just she's an amazing singer, and she could totally, because she did The Sound of Music at the Oscars, she could hit that note with Meryl Streep, and she can do that. And then I think the other one would be Kendrick.
Kendrick Lamar?
No, not Kendrick Lamar, the girl.
Miranda, something Kendrick?
no,
the girl from...
Kia Kendrick, Pitch Perfect.
Oh, wait, the actress?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No.
Anna
Kia Kendrick.
Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anna Kendrick and Lady Gaga could
Mm.
play those roles. No, you say that, but I saw
Yeah, I
it.
disagree
No,
with Lady Gaga.
no.
You're
But
like,
guys,
and then we choose
I
John
think-
Mayer
no,
as the Bruce
no,
Willis
No.
character.
You want to hear how I have it Bruce Willis? Y'all ready for this? What's up? Mortal Kombat! Get over here.
Sorry, guys.
Anyways, no, but I would love to see Jared Leto.
No.
Yes. No, okay, you guys say that, but you have to think about.
I love Jared Leto as an actor. I just don't know about
No. Think about it. Because y'all don't remember, he used to play.
No, yeah, he's in 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yes.
I enjoyed
He
his band.
sings.
Yeah.
And
I
he
didn't enjoy their
also
last couple
plays
records, but-
a very funny role in a lot of his films. If you guys remember So-Called Life that he was on,
That was a
he very
TV
funny.
show.
Yeah, and he was really
Claire
funny in that.
Danes.
All right.
But anyways, yeah, we're
I'm
going
gonna
definitely
move
too
along.
far.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like,
sorry.
where are we, guys? Where are we
Fuego,
going?
I'm going to jump into the next one,
Yeah.
if that's okay, before we get to yours.
Okay.
So I'm going to take this moment to flesh out one that we've talked about briefly in the past. I'm going to say Nightmare on Elm Street because
Yeah.
here's what I think. When you think musicals, right?
Okay.
You think of big, well, ideally, each song is a big, elaborate set piece,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And for this, I mean, it's kind of pitch perfect because every dream, every victim has a different dream that could be its own
And a
big
different
set
genre.
piece and a different genre that
Yes.
then Freddie
Okay.
invades.
Yes.
And he could be a duet, right? There's always the
Oh,
first
that's amazing,
verse or two
Cecil.
that's just them. And then Freddie always invades their verse at
Oh,
the
that's
end because
great.
he's invading their world, right? And so he forces them into a duet. And by the end, he's
So
killed
he's
them.
like a composer. I missed. Yes.
Yeah, and so
I
he
get
jumps
that.
in and like sort of takes over. Like, no, you're gonna do this and you're gonna do this, and
And the beginning of it, he can be the composer.
Yeah,
He
he
sit
could
out
be,
and he's
yeah.
sitting there, and his fangs are what's setting the story.
yeah, that would actually be really cool, even
Yeah.
if you show him behind the
Yeah.
conductor's thing.
That with his fingers.
And you see the curtain raise
Yes, and
before
he shows-
every dream.
Yes, dude,
Like-
Cecil, that's a great idea. High five, bro.
Yeah, I
There
like
you
that.
go.
Yes,
I
that's
think
awesome.
because it's tailor made for different set pieces.
Yes.
And then there's the final thing where the final battle is a duet between the final girl and Freddie the whole
Mm-hmm.
way through,
Let's
and she has
do
to
it.
defeat him via the lyrics, maybe. You know, I don't know, but I think that diving deeper on that, I think that's absolutely the way to do it. What's going on? Do you-
Oh, no, I was gonna.
I-
I have a shot right here, and I don't want to take a shot.
Oh,
It's
that's
fine.
what
What's
we
that?
do.
It wouldn't be the
That's
first
good
time.
Oh, I was gonna put something in this.
What do you want in it? I have juices.
A little behind the curtain
surprise,
here.
Yeah, I was gonna
surprise
say,
me!
I'm
I'm
the
sorry,
only
I'm
one
sorry,
not drinking this time.
guys, sorry, I'm sorry. That surprised me, honey. A good game.
You're gonna give her a little tush
Yeah.
slap.
No, I punched her in the because I.
Oh, I like that. A giant Freddy hand, like puppeteers above the stage. Yeah, you can
Yes.
reenact some of that, like.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea, man.
I
Well,
like that.
and that was. We'll wait.
Okay, so what? Jesus, hazy days. What if Freddy teabags them in their sleep while singing the Folgers Coffee song? I mean, that's an SNL version of it, absolutely.
You'll never be waking up because you're dying in my mouth. I was trying there.
The best part of staying asleep is Freddy's bag in your mouth. Like, I don't know.
Bob bag, I mean testicles. Subtlety is my cousin.
All right, let's see.
That's funny.
Will Rube says, "Why does Andrew look so different?"
I love Will. That's none of your business.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, I think Freddy was mine. So that leads us. Go ahead, Fuego. You jump on in.
I still really want to see something along the lines of either Mary Poppins or The Sound of Music, where the woman coming to care for the kids is like a fucking psychopath of some sort and like terrorizes the family to some degree. Later on, like she gains their trust through song and whatever, and then like there's behind the scenes bits of her singing evil plotting
Which
stuff
movie
to
are you
herself.
talking about?
A Sound of Music and Mary Poppins. One of those two.
Because to me,
You
you're
could go
describing the hand that rocks the cradle.
Yeah, well, hey,
That's
musical version
crazy.
of-
We were both thinking the same thing because I'm like,
I
that
haven't
actually
seen
best
would work.
movie.
I haven't seen
She
that movie.
punches that kid on the fucking swing.
Oh, dude, Rebecca De Mornay. That's Rebecca De Mornay's
Yes.
best role.
I haven't
Yes.
seen that movie.
She
I've
punches
heard
that
of
kid
it.
on the swing. And you're just
Oh,
like,
it's so good. It's
Yeah.
exactly that. She shows up to take care of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. You finish your
Yeah.
thing.
No, I pretty much told you my thought. I mean,
Well,
she shows up and she plays nice and she gains the trust of the whole family through song and dance and spoonsful of sugar and all this shit. But then just have those scenes like where everyone else is off stage or camera or whatever.
Well,
And
well,
she's too, right when we said it.
Yeah, and
Well-
she's singing her plotting stuff like, and then that kid's little, I'll feast on their flesh or something horrible like that, and she's gonna make them into like little bread pie or meat pies like in Sweeney Todd or some shit
see,
like
I
that.
had an
Yeah.
idea like that,
Really?
but I
Good
kinda
minds
go-
think alike.
I kind of go
sometimes.
in a different way though.
Okay,
I
well,
think it'd be
make my
scarier.
idea better then, Amanda.
I don't think it's better.
Oh,
It's just
shit.
different. I think it'd be scarier if she was a mother who lost her children.
And so
wanted
that's
to
why
kill
she's
the
psychotic?
family
Yeah.
To take the children. So she has, you remember she
They
has the
took
bag
The children.
that she grabs all that big stuff out of it, and if she just had a bag full of children.
Keeps the children.
Can I take it? Yeah, I was gonna say, can I take it a little step further? It's like,
Please
yeah,
do.
So
Build on mine.
it's gonna end the same place you just ended,
Mhm.
but she kills the whole family in order to have the child, in order to be able to kill the child again.
Yes.
Like she now craves the feeling of killing her child.
yeah.
So she takes over the child.
Well, see, I
and
think
kills
more
the
of a
fam-
mama aspect of it.
No, I know. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going a little bit further with it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So she not only killed her own child, but
Yeah.
she found that she liked it. So
So that's
now
why
she
she goes
goes
from
from family to family,
Yeah.
killing
Kinda
the family
stepfather.
to take the child as her own, and then to be able to get that feeling of killing her child again.
Mm.
But and
That's
the
what
whole
that-
story would be not focused on the children, but on the parents, like the horror of the parents.
That's true. Yeah. Well,
Looking
that
on
movie
that,
would
yeah.
be that family
Yeah.
finding this out.
No, but it'd be
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the head people would be the stars would be the parents seeing that like her versus like Mary Poppins used to focus on the children. They take a back step
Mhm.
and kind of focus on the parents.
Yeah. Okay.
And kind of see that aspect of being like, there's nothing scarier than seeing your child with somebody else and not knowing their intentions. So I
Right.
think that horror look at it, just like coming in and seeing her with the children, she goes, "Don't worry, I have their best interests in my heart."
Yeah,
That
you
is
go.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is scary. Versus
Right.
having the being the kids, because that's overdone. You know,
Yeah.
you had it chitty chitty bang bang, you had everything. So
Mary Poppins a cap in your ass.
Does it say how long we've been going? It's got to be close
I
to
don't
an hour at this
know.
point.
God, I feel so bad. Let's, yeah.
No,
let's
no,
go
because
figure it
we're-
out.
what
No,
time
it's,
did we
it's
start at
4:30.
four?
It's 4:30 right now.
Did we start
Oh,
at 3
I think
3:37? Right?
soon,
Is when we
yeah.
actually signed on, or is it 3?
It was like more like 3:40. But so, yeah, we've been going for about 50 minutes now.
All right,
Okay,
so
so
we're
we're
gonna
getting
do-
close. We're getting close. Let's well,
Yeah.
that's it for the rounds. Is there any other ideas that you guys had that we wanted to chime in with? Brittany, any others?
No.
I'm not right off the top of my head. I'll try and.
Well, I know you liked Into the Woods. Do you think there's
Fuck
enough
that movie.
horror stuff to like make anything out of that, or anything out of any other Disney movies that you like? Would any of those make good horror movies? Do you think? I mean, a lot of those come from grim fairy tales that are horror
Yeah, I know.
stories
You
anyway.
got all your Disney movies come from Grimm's
I think Little Mermaid would be
I
kick
have,
ass
I
for
think
it.
I have an idea
Well,
for
the-
you to think of something.
Well, the Little
Okay.
Mermaid is scary anyway.
I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, and this will give you the best musical. Okay, what's your favorite horror film? Just on top of your head, name a horror film you like, because I can actually help you. Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Okay. Think about that.
All right.
All right. Keep in your mind, Freddy Krueger. What Disney film would you love to see Freddy Krueger in?
What?
Peter Pan.
Ooh.
Peter Pan, Nightmare on Pan Street. There you go.
Nightmare on Pan. Well, no, it'd have to be Nightmare in Neverland.
Yeah, because he's
Nightmare
going
Neverland,
after he's going after the
Yeah.
Lost Boys, right?
There you go.
So,
So
yeah.
it'd be the Lost Boys versus.
What if the
Freddy
Lost
Krueger.
Boys were the,
That would be
what
dope.
if they were the last of the Elm Street kids that found a way to escape Freddy?
Yeah, and they ended up in
Well,
Neverland.
and they're trying to actually escape Pan, and the
Yeah.
Shadow's actually the evil.
So it'd be like Freddy invades
No,
Neverland.
wait,
There you
wait,
go.
wait, I totally went. Once Upon a Time. Sorry. Once Upon a Time. I didn't mean to rip you off.
Deadly Dreams
Well,
of
I don't
Neverland.
watch that show. The only thing I know about
Sorry.
Once Upon a Time is Gareth is in that.
I watched the first couple episodes, or first
But
couple
yeah,
seasons
so,
of it. I
yeah,
thought
there
it
you
was
go.
pretty
That's super cool.
good. And it's
Because I
got-
know you had a bunch of thoughts, you just couldn't
I was like,
pick any of
Thanks,
them.
Maddie. Take care.
Where are
buddy.
they?
Yeah,
I
you're
love
like,
you
my
guys.
thoughts are here.
I don't know where they are.
Do you love me now,
Bye.
mama? Do you love me
We
now,
love you,
mama? My
man.
lipstick's on right. I'm not mad at you, I'm mad at the dirt. That's a mommy dear reference.
Well, you know-
Diddler on the roof, gentlemen prefer zombies. These are some funny
we don't
titles
need
as
to.
well.
All right. Well, you know what? I think that's probably a good
Yeah,
enough
I
place
think
to
so,
end it.
too.
We don't need to extend it.
I
if we
gotta
don't
go
have
play
to.
a concert,
Yeah,
guys.
now please
So-
check it out.
And still do the news. I don't know how we're gonna do this.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Until next time. Wait, no. Before we do that, thank you very much, Amanda, for joining
Of
Yeah,
us.
course,
This
I
live
had
stream.
so much fun. I'm here with my Brett tonight.
This was great.
And please
Hopefully,
go
we're gonna get
subscribe.
some more content with her before she has to take back off to go back to Texarkana.
Six or kind of.
But until
The
next
town that
time,
dreaded progress. The town that dreaded progress.
Fuego and I will be back to do the